Everything you desire is waiting for you to claim it. There's no creating involved, only invention through imagination and building through action. You are at the center of all your desires, dreams, and achievements. Welcome to Designing Your Life Today, the podcast that's all about your success, achieving your goals, building wealth through your business, and building your most passionate, powerful, magnificent life. Discover ways to use your purpose to connect you to serving others and living your dreams. I am Pat Council, and I know you are built by design to win. And it all begins with knowing how to tap into your success energy. Let's get on the path of discovery, decisive action, development, and unwavering dedication to your life's calling. It's time to embark on a transformative journey where your deepest passions become your most rewarding achievements. Embrace your power to shape your destiny, because this is your moment to do life with power. Hello, Power Up Nation. I'm Pat Council, and today I want to talk about what to do when you don't like selling. There are so many people that are in business, want to go into business, they're aspiring to become an entrepreneur, and I hear this a lot. I don't like selling. So I thought I'd talk about that on this Thriving Thursday. And coming up, we have a very special guest. He is a realtor, and his name is Kendrick Cottingham. You want to hear what he has to share about his real estate journey. When it comes to building a business, first of all, I often tell people, if you don't like selling, you really don't have a business. But everything is relative when it comes to selling and when it comes to building that business. So what do I mean by that? Some people, when they say they don't like selling, what they don't like doing is asking people to buy from them. Now, honestly speaking, the cream of the crop in any business that involves selling a product or selling their services, the cream of the crop, they don't have a problem asking for business. So I want to encourage you to learn more about selling, because one of the keys to, becoming more excited about selling is learning how to sell. And a lot of people don't like it because they think selling is just kind of aggravating people or pressuring people into buying something. That's not selling. Okay. That's just annoying. So with that being said, what do you do when you don't like selling? Well, until you take the initiative to actually learn the steps to selling, one of the things that you can do is actually get known for giving really good service. Now, here's the catch-22. The catch-22 is, how do I get known for giving really good service if I'm not selling anything? Because I'm afraid to ask people to buy from me, or I feel like I'm bothering people. Well, I have another answer for you when it comes to that, and that would be learn how to market yourself. Really put yourself out there and find a way to position yourself such that people will see you as an expert. And you say, well, how can I do that without selling something and having a track record? Well, if you can put your knowledge on display, and there are different ways that you can do that. One of the ways is you could actually write a book, which will hold you out to be an authority. And it's something that people respect. And so even though nowadays a lot of people write their books using AI, but they've got some new rules behind writing a book using AI. So be careful with that. But we're not going to get into that today. Just be careful with that. You actually have to make the public aware, hey, I didn't write this. AI did. But you want to write your own book, what comes out of your brain. Okay. Use your own imagination, your own creativity. And the thing about that is, it doesn't have to be a 200 or 300 page book. It can be a very small ebook, and you can still become or be viewed as an expert or a person with a certain level of knowledge, which will get you a certain kind of trust. There are other things that you can do. We have so many different social media platforms, and of course, YouTube is a great platform for you to get on and just talk, okay, about what you have to offer, and not sell in terms of saying, hey, this is what I have to offer. Please call me so you can buy it, but provide information that will actually help people who are looking for whatever it is you have to offer. So if you really don't like selling, then what you want to do is learn how to market yourself. And really, I often tell people that I coach, I often tell them, listen, you have to become bigger than life. And so we started to work on a plan so that they can become just that, bigger than life. And in a way that people will remember them. There are a lot of people that want to use gimmicks. And I have to tell you that if you want to really become a top salesperson, no matter what field you're in, it's not about using silly gimmicks to get people to buy from you. Okay. Now you can use some of those silly gimmicks to get attention, but at the end of the day, you still need to provide professional knowledge such that people want to do business with you, because when you can provide a certain kind of knowledge on a certain level, you automatically will garner trust. So that's one of the things that you can do if you don't like to sell. Start marketing yourself and providing information, hence content marketing, providing information that will allow people to see you as the professional you already are. Now, at that point, once you start to get a few sales under your belt, whether it's a product or service, at that point, I'm guessing you might start to become less shy about selling. But understand this, I still hold to the premise that if you don't learn to sell, or if you can't sell, you really don't have a business. It is important that you learn how to sell. Okay. So as I said, we've got Kendrick Cottingham coming up, and he's going to share what makes him such a great realtor. And the thing about when you're out there, if people can see you as someone who really gives great service, or who really has a lot of knowledge, because think about people who write for magazines, or who, as I said, write books, and people get to know their names. They see their bylines, or who are on YouTube, and they become like a YouTube sensation, and people have never met them, but they're buying what they're selling, because they're coming across as the expert and they're providing valuable knowledge. So if you don't like to sell, first of all, make sure the product that you're offering or service is something of value, but provide valuable information that's connected to that product. And I think that'll help you get over your fear of selling. But I have to say it again. In the meantime, you do want to take the time to learn how to sell. I think a lot of people don't like selling because they don't really know how. And once you learn how to sell and the right way to sell, it's no longer a big deal to you. You don't have to pressure people into buying something that they already want to buy, or perhaps they already need to buy. You just have to know your product. You have to know your services really well. And then, as I said, become bigger than life. That's my phrase, bigger than life. And when you do that, then you can take some time and learn how to actually sell and work with people. When you learn how to sell, you're going to find that actually it's a lot easier. And then when you put the two together, your ability to market yourself or get someone to help you with that. You know what? I have to say this, you guys. I mean, I am a fan of artificial intelligence, but sometimes I talk to people and they're talking about AI, and they say, well, I had AI map this out. And they said, but, you know, I'm still fuzzy. There's still some things I don't know. I want to suggest to you that another way for you to actually start liking selling, okay, is for you to connect with people who have a certain level of expertise in that area. People have a tendency to talk to non-salespeople or people that don't have expertise in that area, and they think they're going to learn to become good at sales. Okay. And as the scripture goes, iron sharpens iron. Okay. So you need to find someone who is just as good or very good at sales, and they can tell when you're doing it wrong. You can learn how to close from a closer. Okay. You also can learn how to, let's say, present your product or present your services to someone from someone who's been there, done that, and they have a track record. So that's another thing, because the more we learn about selling, the more confident you become. And then I think it kind of disappears or that feeling of, I don't like selling, it disappears. I know that's what happened to me. I never thought I would have gone into real estate. And I actually never thought I would have become a top producing realtor. So I never thought these things would happen for me. As a matter of fact, I was in the I don't like to sell group before I got into real estate. But once I got into real estate and I learned how to sell, okay, and of course I'm good at marketing. And so I marketed myself. And when I put the two together, things just kind of took off. So with that being said, I think I've given you guys a great tip. So it doesn't matter what business you're in. I know everybody's talking about marketing these days, but I always like to give you guys my little caveats. And here's a caveat. Everybody who's talking about marketing is not necessarily good at marketing, but we'll talk about that on another Thriving Thursday. So you want to be careful. You want to make sure the marketing that you are using, that it is connecting you to something that's going to take you where you would like to go, or that it's going to allow you to present yourself in a way such that people will see you and be excited about you and want to know you. Okay. One of the best things you could ever do is market yourself, feel good about the marketing to the point where that kind of energy that you're putting out, you don't have to chase people. Now they're calling you because they want to do business with you. So that's really how it's supposed to work. So with that being said, I am going to kind of stop talking and share my little tip about what to do when you don't like selling. And then we're going to switch over and we're going to talk to Kendrick Cottingham so you guys can meet him, find out about him. And I have to tell you guys, he's pretty awesome. And he's very diligent, very focused. And so I'm going to stop talking so you guys can meet him and you can decide for yourself. Back to Designing Your Life today. As I told you guys, I had a great guest for you. And so we're going to talk to this guest. We're going to interview this guest and find out about selling. One of the things that anybody who's been listening to this show, even if you started listening to it 3 weeks ago, you know that I was once in real estate. And I find real estate to be one of the epitome of selling. Okay, that's like one of the pinnacles of real selling. And so with that being said, since we were talking about selling earlier, I thought it would be great to introduce you to a guest who has his own real estate business, and he's a great realtor. So we're going to find out a little bit about him, and in the process, you guys are going to learn some things about service and what it really takes. With that being said, I want to introduce to you Kendrick Cottingham. He has a great name,
How you
doesn't
doing?
he?
How you
Hi,
doing?
Kendrick. How are you?
Good,
Thanks
good.
for taking the time to hang out with me today.
Of course, of course.
So we're gonna jump right into this. So our audience can get to know who you are. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. My name is Kendrick Cottingham. I'm from Darlington, South Carolina. For those of you that don't know where that is, if you ever went to Myrtle Beach, you passed by it. You might see the sign, Darlington, South Carolina. I'm married to my beautiful wife. I have two beautiful daughters. Um, and I'm just here trying to give service to Northeast Florida. Trying
How
to provide.
awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit about your real estate business so people can get to know you from the business side as well. As you guys can see, he's a family man. And you know what? I have to say this. Again, many of you have been listening to the show. You know that I am from South Carolina. So he's from Darlington, South Carolina. I'm originally from a town that most people have not heard of, but I think it's about to get on the map. It's called Rembrandt, South Carolina, but most people have heard of Sumter. So it's close to Sumter. So with that being said, so he's what we call a homeboy, which is kind of cool.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
so with that being said, let me ask you something about your business. First of all, tell us what made you decide to start a real estate business.
Um, I I would say my dad. Growing up, especially in my early teen years, he got into real estate. He started by flipping houses. And he did all the work himself. So growing up, we were going there, tearing out floors, knocking out walls, just helping out. I enjoyed the process. And then when he actually finished the work and found a buyer, um, like they were so happy, so excited. The joy that you get from uh, getting your first home, or even if it's not your first home, just getting a new home is nice. And
Wow.
even when me and my wife, when we bought our first home, like the whole process of searching for that house, that home that is it. This is it. It was exciting. Sometimes it was a little, it felt like a little much. But when
Mhm.
you finally went to that home and you was like, oh, this is it. The feeling was amazing, and I want to give that to everybody, as many people as I can.
That's
So
awesome.
yes,
That's
ma'am.
awesome. So, it's interesting that your dad started in real estate, flipping houses and these kind of things. So, and you and your wife, you went out, you looked for homes, and it was a bit tedious sometimes and probably
Hmm.
annoying sometimes, but you actually found your dream home, which is exciting. So, you kind of been on both sides of the scale. So, you've seen both sides, which usually when someone goes into real estate and they know about flipping houses and repairing homes and that kind of thing, they're pretty knowledgeable. So here's my next question. With all that being said, what makes you different from other real estate agents?
What makes me different? I would have to say, and I'm pretty sure everybody says the same thing, is my authenticity. I'm authentic. I am who I am. I'm a people person. Um, and I work hard to get better at my craft. I like the saying that you practice harder than you play. And I'm in MLS. I'm out here meeting people. I'm in new neighborhoods. I'm looking for deals. I'm out here doing the work.
Okay.
And so I think that's really important.
You know what? That's extremely important. And I have to tell you that in the name of authenticity, that is a big deal. And believe it or not, um, a lot of realtors pretty much get in the business to make money.
Mhm.
And the thing about that, and there's nothing wrong with making money, but there's something wrong with not understanding that the key to making that money is to bring your most authentic self to the table so your
Exactly.
buyers and sellers can see who you're dealing with, and to also be prepared to give the best service possible. So this is good that you started out by saying, hey, you know what? I'm authentic, and he's doing the work to learn his craft. And I have to say this too, because many of you guys know I also had my own real estate company. There are a lot of realtors, and one of the things I would teach them is don't focus on the commission. The commission is going to come. If you become the best realtor possible and you know your craft, you don't have to worry about the money. And so he's more interested in service. And so I absolutely love that. So I've got more questions to ask you based on that. So, how can you actually help buyers and sellers solve their real estate problems?
Um, so I try to look at problems as opportunities. A lot of times we've all gone through things. We all have problems, perceived problems. And it's all about understanding what you really need and doing the best you can to provide solutions. And that's why I'm a solution based person. We're not gonna sit right here and focus on the problem. We're gonna immediately go to finding a solution. Because
Awesome.
if we don't, the longer we dwell on the problem, the longer it's gonna be there. So
Awesome. That's a great way to look at things because again, sometimes when people in real estate, because they're looking at their commission, they're not necessarily solution oriented. They just want to deal with the easy customer, and they don't want there to be any problems. And when a problem pops up, they will usually say, well, okay, I need to walk away from this, instead of looking at how can I solve that problem, you
Yes,
know.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So I love the way you think, and you guys are gonna find out in a minute why I love the way he thinks even more so. So with that being said, now I asked you how you could help the buyers and sellers. What do they have to gain from dealing with you? And I promise you guys, a realtor who is solution based, solution oriented, you really can't do any better than that. Someone who's looking for solutions, uh, in order to find solutions, you have to be knowledgeable.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
have to be knowledgeable. You also have to know where to find the knowledge, even if you don't know where it is. So he's the person who's committed to doing that. And I promise you, that's a big deal when it comes to you buying a home. So, with that being said, what advice would you give to uh, buyers and sellers that are looking for a home and looking to sell their home?
I would advise that you do your research on the agent that you choose. Make sure that they match your personality. They match how fast or slow you want to work. Um, I'm usually a straight to the point kind of guy.
Yeah,
Um, I'm ready to go. So when
yeah,
you're ready, I'm ready.
right.
Um, and that might not work for some people, and that's okay. But I think that's really important. Choosing the right realtor is is really important.
Awesome.
Um, yep,
So, okay, so when he's ready to go, and this is great that he understands the concept of matching the personalities, but he says, okay, I'm a ready to go guy, but the other side to that coin is he's saying, listen, I'm here to match you. If you're not ready to go, or move as quickly, then I'm going to slow down and I'm going to work with you. I think I kind of
absolutely,
said that right, correct?
absolutely. I'm
Okay.
I'm a, I'm a great communicator, and you know, if I realize that, okay, though, let's slow it down. Let's slow it down.
Yeah.
That's easy. That's easy. We could definitely
Awesome.
do that.
Awesome. And in order to realize that you need to slow it down a bit, uh, again, you have to care about the customer that you're dealing with. Okay.
Absolutely.
And anybody out there who's bought a home, if you're currently looking for a home, or then wow, sometimes you might find the realtor you're working with to be slightly annoying. Okay. And the truth of the matter is the real estate experience, it's not the realtor's experience, it's yours as the buyer or seller, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So with that being said, I think it's more important that you find that realtor that wants to give you that kind of service, that is a great communicator and can help you get to where it is you really want to be, into the home you want, or sell that home the way you want it sold. Because believe me, that really does matter. And I have to say this before we go to our next question. uh I still have I have a lot of real estate friends, and I of course know a lot of people who've bought and sold homes, and one of the things that they remember is some of the bad experiences that they've had with a realtor. Okay, in other words, years have gone by and they still remember that experience, and they promise themselves they will never fall into that trap again. So I think it's good if you start out with the right realtor to begin with, one that can match your personality. That's going to make your experience a lot better. And yes, I am a fan of communication. So I like the fact that Kendrick did mention communication. Okay, so let's change gears for a moment here. And it's interesting. As you guys know, I'm a life coach and a business coach, and I especially love when it's time to coach a realtor. Okay, so I find it to be fun, and because I love talking about sales. And I actually worked with Kendrick for a while as a coach. Okay, we talked about real estate, and so you did work with me through one of my coaching programs. And so, can you share a little bit about that experience?
Miss Pat, you already know we done talked about it. Like I appreciate you. Working with Miss Pat was awesome. She's the type of person she's gonna tell you exactly how it is. If she sees something you ain't doing or you need to do, she's gonna call you out on it. But she's gonna do it in a very nice way, but direct. And I love that. I grew up like that. I grew up in a household that was like that, direct. You're gonna let you know what you're doing, what you're not. I think the biggest thing I got from coaching with you though was mindset, having a winning mentality, a winner's mindset. And all that is I thought, because I'm a positive person,
Yeah.
and I thought I was positive, which I am, but
Yes.
understanding what having a winning mindset is, it's really believing in yourself, like regardless of what happens, any setbacks, anything, positivity and solution based is key. And I think I really changed my mindset to, it doesn't matter what's going on. I'm gonna think about the positivity in it and how I can keep pushing. And
Absolutely.
that, yeah, that's with just me personally, my personal life. That's with any clients I'm dealing with. Because we all, nothing is, things don't always go as planned.
Right.
And that was the biggest thing. That really helped me. That pushed me to be relentless, and that's gonna make you strive to learn and get better and grow. And
Absolutely.
I think all of that's key. That's the biggest thing I got.
Awesome. Wow. If I didn't have on makeup, I'd probably tear up a bit, but I don't want to run my mascara. No, thank you so much for saying
Yes,
that.
ma'am.
It is important. Mindset is such a big deal. And of course, on the podcast, we talk about mindset a lot, your relationship with yourself, your connection. And you guys know I'm a person who does not believe in downplaying spirituality in any way, shape, or form.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's not, it's your mindset. It is all connected. And so I talk a lot a bit about the spiritual aspects, and that when you can put all those together, that spiritual along with your thought process, everything is just going to start to fall into place. That does not mean you won't have challenges. It just means you'll be strong enough to overcome them.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
thank you so much for saying that. All right, so let's get back to you and let's get back to real estate. Um, can Okay, so Kendrick is located in Jacksonville, and but he is also affiliated with the military. He's has been in the military, and so people who've been in the military, and many of you guys know I'm a veteran as well, and so people who've been in the military, well, we know a lot of people because we've been a lot of places. So, with that being said, I have to ask you, can you provide service to people who are only located in Jacksonville where you're located? Or can you help people from everywhere?
Oh, we can help people from everywhere, and we do. We deal a lot with a lot of military clients. And we help people move from Japan. We help people move from all over the world. Um, it's a lot you can do with technology. It's a lot you can
Awesome.
do.
Wow, I love that. So it doesn't matter where you guys are located, you guys want to reach out to Kendrick, so you can find out what he has to offer you. You know, I promise you, and I'm not just saying this because he worked with me through coaching. I'm saying this because I've gotten to know Kendrick. Kendrick, he has a strong spirit. He has a good spirit. He does. He has a good heart. And I find that when you can take that and you match that with a level of expertise, as he has done in real estate, it's such a great experience to work with a person like that. Today we kind of live in a time where people just, okay, do you want to buy something? No, and they just brush you off. But Kendrick is cut from a different cloth. So I want to encourage you guys to reach out to him, if anything, if for no other reason, just to kind of understand his philosophy about helping you when it comes to either buying or selling a home, or go to his Facebook page. I wasn't going to ask you this, but go ahead and tell us. Okay, how can they find you on Facebook so they can check out your page?
So you can find me on Facebook at Kendrick Cottingham, comma Realtor. I'm also on Instagram, Kendrick Cottingham Realtor. I try to post some content that's going to help you out. Some funny, but most I'm trying to give value to Northeast Florida and to other people across the United States and even the world if they tune in, if they if they tune in with me. So
Cool. That's
yes,
awesome.
ma'am.
And funny is always good. I mean, we don't want to take life too serious, so I love that too.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if someone's interested in finding out more about what you have to offer, so tell them how they can contact you directly.
You can email me at Kendrick dot Cottingham at themilitarygroup.us. You can give me a call 904-349-3410. You can call me directly. I'm available. I'll answer the phone, I promise.
Awesome. That is
Yes,
so,
ma'am.
he sounds like a politician, but the difference is he's telling the truth.
I'm telling the
Okay,
truth. Yes,
I
ma'am.
just said that out loud and we're not going to edit it out. But anyways, but
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
he will answer the phone. Now we're about to wrap up here. So are there any last minute comments that you want to share with our listeners and our viewers?
Um, I just want to let you guys know. Again, my name is Kendrick Cottingham. I'm here to provide fast, efficient service, fast, efficient results to Northeast Florida. If you need help buying, selling, or investing, I'm here. You can give me a call. Check out my Facebook, um, and I'm ready to help you guys. Ready to help you get in the home and sell your home.
That is so awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Kendrick, thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with us here on Designing Your Life today. So, Kendrick has told you guys how to contact him. We're also going to put that information in the show notes. So, you can just click on a link and you can go and hang out with Kendrick and talk to him more about your real estate needs. It's better to know and get educated before you step out there and start buying a home or just kind of trying to wing it and sell a home. So have a conversation with Kendrick. Thank you
Definitely,
guys. Thank you,
definitely.
Kendrick. Thank you guys for tuning in.